Hello everyone, welcome to Ignition.
Hello, welcome to our Mitsubishi L200 rebuild. Today we are powder coating.
After me. Right, so as you can see behind us, you're probably wondering why we have an oven going on. So we're going to discuss powder coating, are we?
Yeah,
Is that what we're going to do?
A brief into powder coating.
Yeah.
There are two. Obviously, this is what I'd classify as a home do-it-yourself.
Yeah, DIY type thing.
We certainly don't know how to powder coat, so
no.
If we can do it, so can you. And we have powder coated before. We found it very, very easy.
We have.
The results are fantastic. The difference, I suppose, as you've seen in other episodes, and if you haven't watched them, go back and watch them.
For sure.
Whether it's going to be before or after this, we'll have to wait and see as he does the editing. But
True.
We sandblast. So if you sandblast the metal, it gives you a nice, obviously you're getting rid of all of the paint that's on there, the rust that's on there, and it's giving you a key for the powder coat to get into. But you can certainly do it with sandpaper or wire brushes, it's not a problem.
Yeah, it just leaves a nice solid sort of bare metal finish. It's quite bitty, so it's nice and solid for the paint to sort of grip to.
But if you're thinking of doing it yourself, the powder coat is a powder, for obvious reasons, that you coat the substrate in, normally metal.
Yes.
And you then heat it up to 190 degrees. The powder melts and forms a paint-like but much stronger surface over the product that you're doing. So we'll give you a little look at some befores and afters.
So this is a piece that we've done. I suppose we'd describe it just as a laugh, wouldn't we? We did this as a test. As you can see, this is what it looked like before. A bit rusty on the sides. All the paint was sort of flaking off, and the rust was eating through it.
This is a part of this is part of your other car that I broke.
Yes, yeah, he broke it. So this is a part of the torsion bar. So what we've done is we've done this as a test. This is with a tiny bit of metallic in the powder coat, and as you can see, it came out beautifully. Considering what this looked like before,
which is just a lump of rust.
Yeah, a lump of rust. It's a vast improvement. Obviously, you wouldn't powder coat the nut in there, but that's what was broken, so we didn't get that out. But that's a good example of what we've done.
So powder coating, if you're thinking of doing it at home, it really comes in two varieties. You need to have, when you're putting the powder onto the substrate, the metal item that you're doing needs to be charged. So you can get two types. You can either get a powder coat system where you have an electrically charged gun and you put a charge into the actual piece that you're doing. So you're using two electrical charge points. We are using a easy coat, and the difference with this one is you don't have to charge the actual item that you want to powder coat. It's actually done through you wearing a band.
So this is the band. Hang on, I'll show that up. So what you do is you pop this band on, and it has a metal piece. Now it did, to me it looked a bit dodgy before, but there's actually no charge going through it. It uses your own body. So this touches your wrist, it goes round like this, and it sits on your wrist. And what you do is you connect this to the item, but what we'll explain in a minute is the setup that we've got over here.
Right, so when you are coating, you've got to create a circuit between the item that you're powder coating and yourself, using the system that we are. So when we were putting this to the job, it just got very messy and became a bit of a faff. So I've grinded the metal that we're using here. So I've taken the paint off all the way up the inside, and using silver foil, because obviously you get layers and layers of powder coat residue, the more that you do it becomes hard because it goes into the oven. Silver foil will create a circuit. So by holding this, it saves you having to obviously connect to the job. But you need to make sure it's working. So using a meter, if you then go between the two, there we've got a circuit. So we now know that these are connected to us so that we can release the powder, and the powder will be attracted to the job. So I've waffled enough, shall we see it in action?
This is the other blue we're going to be using. It's called Ocean Blue, but it's not that bright. It does look bright, but when it cures, it's cured like the piece I showed you earlier. So my dad's going to spoon some into our pot, which goes on top of the gun. Okay, so here we are with our colour. We've got blue. Now the container just goes right in here, but the first thing you have to attach is this. It's almost like a vapour catcher as such, so there's no water vapour going into the powder itself. So to get this on, I almost did make the mistake of turning the pot upside down, but that would have caused a massive mess. So it just screws in like that. It almost just looks like a regular spraying gun, really. And there we are. We're ready. And it filters in. It's gravity fed, I think that's what they call it. So here I am. My appearance has changed. I've got my mask on so I don't breathe in any powder because it's not going to be good for me. I've got my safety glasses on so I don't get any powder in my eyes. And I've got my wrist hooked up and I'm ready to connect. Now all I need to do is grab the gun and plug in the air line. So I'm going to clip the crocodile clip to this piece of metal that's been shaved, the paint's been grinded off.
Your glamorous assistant.
Yeah, my lovely assistant here.
So this only works at 10 psi.
Yeah,
so
10
there's
psi.
Not much air pressure.
So I'll just do a little test. See, it just comes out almost as I described, like a fart.
How nice.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to work my way around them, trying to, you know, keep this out of the way.
We're going to try and do this a little bit quieter. Normally we'd have a whacking great fan on.
Yes.
But we'll see how much mess we make.
This is
if we have to put the fan on halfway through, we do apologise.
This is for demonstrating purposes. Right, let's crack on.
So you'll see, because there's a circuit here, the powder is attracted to the metalwork, and it's very satisfying to watch. And it's getting into all the little nooks and crannies that's the difficulty that we found, particularly weld joints. It doesn't go into weld joints that easily, but you just have to make sure you've got enough on.
Will it?
Pucker.
Okay, so I would say that that's a nice even coat. Now you need to be careful obviously not to get any wind on it, don't want to blow it off. And now we're going to whack it in the oven. Okay, so cameraman's error, wasn't filming when we put them in the oven, but they're in, and we'll say how we did it. Welder's gloves, putting it in and out, good for the heat. Don't burn me old hands.
Yes, so
and now I'll let my old father explain the times and temperatures.
So what you're aiming for is the product needs to get itself up to 180, 190 degrees. So we've got a cheap Banggood thermometer. Yeah. So currently they are at 124 degrees. So once they hit 180, 190 degrees, they need to stay in and cook for 10 minutes, but not that 10 minutes starts as they get up to temperature. So yes, the bigger the piece of metal, the longer it takes to get up to temperature. So we're currently at that temperature, so we've got a few minutes more coffee time for us to wait. We've done our clear up, so we're pretty well there, but it's very easy. The issue that we have, obviously this is an Amazon 90 quid oven, and it does. Yeah. It has its limitations.
It does.
On size.
This is something my mum would cook her cake in.
Yeah, you know, and obviously we're using the cake rack.
We are, yeah.
And we're hanging metal components from it, so it does make life a bit difficult.
And the heavier the part, it's obviously not designed for it. It's designed for a loaf of bread, so it does sometimes struggle with the weight. It's not fully designed for it, but for this sort of part, it's just about okay.
But powder coating is brilliant fun, and it costs Nick. I mean, it's cost us probably £250 sterling to get into powder coating, and the results that you get are nothing short of sensational. So we highly recommend it, and that kit there is so simple. A couple of idiots like the Chuckle Brothers.
Well, if we can do it, anyone can really.
Indeed, and that's what this L200 build is all about. If we can do it, so can you. Yeah. So hopefully we're inspiring you, but we've got a few minutes to wait for this to cook. So this is going to turn off.
We're going to have a coffee.
Barista here is going to make me a nice brew.
So we'll catch you with the results. We are done. Sounds like a bakery's finished. Yep.
So, I wish it was a blooming cake.
Yeah, I wish it was a Victoria sponge would do me nicely. Right, so welder's gloves. Am I doing this? I don't want to burn my. Am I risking burning my hands?
I don't want to burn my delicate hands.
All right, so we're going to get it out of the oven and hang it back on our powder coating rack where we painted it to let it cure and dry overnight. So
cool. I think
cool. Yep.
Are you ready, dear?
I am.
Oh, you've got to miss the thingy, haven't you?
Yes, I've got to do a lift.
This was the bit you missed when we put it in.
Yes,
our oven isn't quite tall enough. Oh, they look good.
They do.
Should we show how difficult it is to get it on there?
Yep. Right, you've got to get the back one in.
Would you like me to assist?
Hang on. Nope, we're on. Done. Oh, only a slight bit of burning coming through the gloves.
No, it doesn't take long, does it?
No, you don't have long to work with there.
Well, if I say so myself, they look great.
I think I'll get some close-up shots. So here are the parts. Now you can see it sort of melts on there really nicely. We've got very good even coverage. I'll get one of the inside there.
and they're still baking hot. So, sorry, we've also forgot to say, any bits that you need to cover and protect from the powder coating, you need to put a masking tape on, but clearly it has to be something that withstands over the 200 degrees. So there is a specialist masking tape you can buy, which is we've used there, and then we've put a bolt on there to hang from and cover the thread.
Okay, so that was a nice, I think, a very nice introduction to powder coating.
Well, hopefully that's helped you, and you can see that if the Chuckle Brothers here can do it, you should be able to do it. Obviously, we used a product called Easy Coat, and it's electrostaticmagic.co.uk. If you're interested in it, we'll try and remember to put that, as they always say,
in the description.
In the bottom.
No, but that makes life much easier for us anyway. That's what we've found.
Yeah, we saw, is it Eastman in America? We were going to buy Eastwood. We were going to buy one of those, but that's the one where you actually have to physically put a charge into the product. And then if you get a bit close, you get this big spark going across.
Yeah, and we didn't fancy that.
Nah, we didn't, because we're very wimpy.
Yeah, we're a bit wimpy, but this just seemed like a very, it almost seemed, in fact, when we got it, my dad thought we were missing pieces, because he goes, it can't just be that easy.
No,
you know,
no, I really thought it, because I understand electric current, and I couldn't see
that would work.
No, that just seemed too easy and too simple, but I can tell you now, the results are fantastic, so we're well pleased with it.
It's a great product.
I think we paid 170, don't hold me to that,
somewhere
but
around
around that, and you get some colours with that, some powder with that, and the world's your oyster. But we've got no affiliation with them.
No, not
affiliation
at all.
with anybody.
No.
Highly recommend that. I think it's a great bit of kit.
Yeah. So we'll end it on
there. So
there.
if you want to see the finished result going back onto the Mitsubishi, make sure you watch the one where we fit the leaf springs, because that's part of the leaf springs that we've taken off that we've got to reuse. So we thought we'd make it look a bit sexier.
Yeah.
Just because we can.
Just because we can, and I think when you're following it, it'll look lovely. So,
so thanks for watching. Hopefully you've subscribed to the whole episode, because you can see how many errors we've made and how much comes out as a success. And as we've said before, we're not experts in anything to do with motor vehicles, powder coating, painting, but we're giving it a crack, so hopefully you can learn with us.
Yes, so like, comment and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, thank you.